Are you still struggling to figure out what kind of exercises to sing to really train your voice, and especially as a beginner singer? Well, you're definitely not alone, because picking the right exercises can feel very overwhelming, and picking the wrong ones could slow down your progress or even cause vocal strain. So we don't want to have that. That's why in this episode, you will discover exactly how to choose the best vocal exercises for your voice so that you can build strength, gain control, and sing with lots of confidence without having to overcomplicate things. My name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I help passionate singers just like yourself develop vocal freedom so that you can sing in public without feeling self-conscious and sing anything you want, how you want it. And on this channel, you're going to get practical tools, insights, tips, techniques to really up-level your singing skills. So let's look at what it actually takes to pick the right exercises, especially as a beginner singer. Now, many common mistakes that I see many beginner singers do is, first of all, not warming up their voices, just jumping into singing some kind of exercise or even singing a song without warming up first. Now, warming up your voice is essential. It's like an athlete going to do whatever the sport is that it's doing without warming up the muscles. That's just a recipe for injury. Same with your voice. We don't want to have that. So vocal warm-up is number one. A second mistake that I see many beginner singers make is that they're picking exercises that might be too advanced for them, and that causes vocal strain, but also frustration, or even this idea of I'm not good enough or this is not for me. You need to know that training your voice has a very specific order. I cannot teach you about belting and singing high notes freely if you don't have a proper breath support in place, for example. So it's really crucial that when you're picking out your exercises, you're consciously thinking about what is on my vocal path, like what am I doing when, which vocal technique at what point in time. And then the third mistake is only focusing on the technical aspect. Oftentimes when we're thinking about like vocal exercises, the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, give me exercises to sing the high notes, or give me exercises to improve my pitch, to train my breathing, all those things. All of that is technical. And there's way more to your vocal development than just the technical work. We're going to talk about that today. So once you're aware that these are mistakes that are made by many beginner singers, you can actually do something about it, because you might recognize yourself in one or more of those. And when you're changing that up, that's where we're getting into the world of what I love to call the trained singer. And the trained singer, well, first of all, they know how important it is to warm up your voice. A trained singer will also know exactly what order to develop their voice in, and what techniques to learn, and what techniques after that, and what after that. So they have clarity about the step-by-step roadmap. And trained singers, they will approach their vocal development in a holistic way. It's not just about the vocal technique. Yes, it's an important part. And there are other two important parts that we need to focus on as well if you truly want to develop yourself as an all-around singer. So, what is that development? Like, where should we start? So, a beginner singer routine should include 3 types of exercises. And I'm going to walk you through the 3 types, giving you examples for each of these 3 types. Then I'm inviting you to go out and actually apply that within your own vocal development, okay? So the first type of exercise is the one we all know, which is the technique exercises. These are exercises to expand your range, to train your internal hearing, to get more stability in your sound, to change the color of your voice, like all those things. And we can talk for hours and hours and hours about those types of exercises. One that I'm going to give you just to get started is a simple lip trill. Now, what is a lip trill? That's a lip trill. Some singers have some difficulties doing that. If that's you, then take your 2 fingers, put them in the corner of your mouth. Don't go all the way to the back, also not all the way to the top, but kind of find a way in between. And that should help you to find that lip trill. Oftentimes, if the lip trill is difficult, that's a sign that tells me that your diaphragmatic breath is not in place or not how it should be. That's something we can work on later. For now, use your fingers if that's easier. Or if you really can't get that sound going, then I invite you to use a V sound, V, of like the car starting or something. And on that V, we can do a simple scale like this one. It's not as simple as it sounds, but it's a long scale that is designed to stretch your vocal cords and thus work on your range and expanding your range. Plus, we're also going from one register to another. So we're going from chest voice to mixed voice to head voice. And it's a scale that is not often in our internal hearing. So we're also training pitch. That's the idea behind this exercise. So let's try and do that together. Here we go. And keep going. Beautiful. And the last one. Beautiful. That's how simple it can be. So again, this is just one of many different vocal exercises. And if you go to our channel or on the podcast, we have all of our vocal workout episodes that are labeled, and those are all like singing exercises to train your vocal technique. So definitely check those out if you want to have more of those types of exercises. So if this has been helpful to you, my biggest invitation right now is for you to like and subscribe so that you're getting notified of new episodes just like this one coming out. But again, we haven't finished, so let's keep going, because the best types of exercises and the least known types of exercises are actually coming up. So we had technique exercises. Number 2 is exercises to regulate your nervous system and cultivate confidence. That might sound like way out of context, but hear me out. Oftentimes as singers, we have a passion for singing, right? And the more we sing, the more I notice singers that I work with having this desire to share that with someone else. And that sharing is what I call singing in public. Singing in public, what oftentimes people think of right out the bat is singing on stage. And yes, singing in public could mean sing on stage if that's what you want to do. However, singing in public is also singing the solo in your choir, for example, or singing your heart out at a karaoke party with friends, or singing in the car while your spouse is next to you. Whatever it might be, any context where you're singing and someone else is listening to you sing, that for me is singing in public. And what I notice, especially with the singers that I tend to work with, is that singing in public is not a given. It's something where we then struggle with anxiety, fear, nerves, stress. And I've been there. It's been a whole journey for me to get over all of those negative feelings. And I've found a way to overcome any anxiety when performing, whether that's on stage or in your car. So one of the ways that I realized works is doing that inner work. It's not just about training your voice and controlling it for 100%. That's what I thought. I thought, oh, once I can sing and everything that I want in the right way, then I'll be confident. But no, it was actually the other way around. So doing that inner work and looking at your mindset, looking at your thoughts, looking at any kind of beliefs that might be limiting you, looking at and being aware of what your inner critic is saying to you and what it's whispering to you and what it's saying to really bring you down, that's a whole practice that you need to include within your vocal development to overcome those feelings of insecurity. That's where inner freedom lies. That's where confidence lies. So an example of this type of practice or exercise, which is what I call the inner work, is regulating your nervous system. And I love to use this technique, especially in the context of stage or singing on stage. I like to do this backstage, right before I go up on stage to actually sing. And if I feel those jitters coming up, then I'll do something that's called box breathing. It's very simple. So imagine a box right in front of you, and you're breathing in for 4 counts. Then you're holding your breath for 4 counts. Then you're breathing out for 4 counts, and then you're holding your breath for 4. And then if you want to, you can even build it up to 5. Hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5. And then we can do another round and then go up until 6. So in for 6, hold for 6, out for 6, hold for 6. So that's box breathing, so that you know when to breathe, when to hold your breath, and when to exhale. This is actually a proven process that helps you calm down your nervous system. And you're basically telling your brain and your body of it's okay. This is not a dangerous situation. You are safe. You're signaling your brain that you are safe by breathing in that way. And this is just one of the exercises. There are so many that you can choose from. So that is another area of focus within your singing practice. So we had the technique exercises. We have that inner work and the regulating your nervous system, signaling your body and brain that you're safe. The third type of exercise is one that fosters creativity. Let me expand on that. So singing and being creative when you're singing is one way that will help you to sing in public without feeling self-conscious. Why? Let me tell you why. Imagine that you feel super safe and super comfortable to improvise. What is improvisation? It's making up your singing on the spot. Oftentimes it's used in jazz, but you can use it in any other genre. Imagine that you can do that so well and you actually enjoy it. When you then go sing on stage and you forget your lyrics, for example, well, then nothing is standing in your way to use your skill of improvisation to overcome that situation of, oh, I lost my lyrics. Let me give you an example. Imagine that I'm singing, let it be, and then I'm forgetting my lyrics. Oh, whisper words of wisdom. Oh, I got it back. Let it be. So the or whatever I did there, that's a little piece of improvisation. I made this on the spot. I did not prepare. And I felt comfortable singing something that is not in the original song. Does that make sense? So improvisation is like your parachute that you get to have with you in whatever public context you are when singing, that you can fall back on. And when you have that parachute, don't you feel safer jumping out of a plane? I would feel way safer with a parachute than without a parachute. And this is how our body interprets these things. When we go and sing on stage and we feel all that nervousness, our nervous system goes into the red. That's because our brain sees it as something that is unsafe. It might think, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna jump out of a plane without a parachute. But if you know that you've got your parachute, then there's nothing to be worried about. And improvisation is just one parachute that you can have. Another parachute is connecting with the song, looking at storytelling, emotion. There's even vocal variation, there's songwriting, there's lyric, there's so many things that can be that parachute that you can fall back onto. However, we need to train that. We need to craft that parachute. You need to understand what it's like to use vocal variation, to use improvisation in a song. So this is something that you need to practice. I hope that makes sense. So, to summarize, 3 types of exercises. The first one, vocal technique to control your voice. Second one, inner trust, getting into that confidence place, regulating your nervous system, rewiring how you're thinking, signaling your brain that you're safe. Number 3, authentic expression, creativity, connecting with your song, improvisation, all those creative tools that help you get that parachute. Again, so that you feel safe when singing in public. Those are the 3 types of exercises that I suggest you focus on throughout your singing journey as a beginner singer. So, as you can see, it's a holistic approach to your vocal development that you need. And it's not just about training your voice in the right way with vocal technique. It's about combining that vocal technique with nervous system regulation and that authentic expression. And I've got a video explaining exactly how to do that, the whole process, so that you can up-level your singing skills even more, even if you're not born with a natural talent. You don't need talent for this. This is all about skills training. So that is my invitation to you to go on to next. I will link to that video in the description here down below and link it up here as well so that you can get started with that one. So I'll see you there, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Bye.